Welcome, welcome. You all have joined in on the Motherland Birth Collective first organization meeting. And I say first annual, even though we've met throughout the years. And this is our official first time of pushing our objective to be very intentional this year this year. We started this intentionality at the onset of the year to really be focused and getting clear about what we wanted to do and the direction we wanted to go as an organization. And, so I will talk more about that. But I'm T. Luna. Some of you might already know me. A lot of you already know me in so many different walks of life. Some of you might have just met me. Some folks just joining in because they heard about us talking today. So I'm so excited. I'm so grateful to have the time with you all today. From everyone throughout the world right now is joining us, and so I hope this time is okay for everyone. Please, at any time, if you can't hear me or anything, just let me know. Oh, before I get started, I want to give y'all an overview of our logo. So I hope it's clear to everyone. I actually have this logo tattooed on me. I had my sister draw the conception of this logo in 2020 when this organization was conceived. And so it is a birthing woman with the mother Africa as a part of her hair and her body, and she wears a crown. And this is our second, and I think it's our newest rendition of our logo. The text has changed, but the logo has stayed the same. So we are Motherland Birth Collective. Thank you. Hold on 1 second. All right. So again, Motherland Birth Collective was conceived as in a conversation I was having with my godmother, who is also a birth worker, and I was just saying, man, wouldn't it be amazing to like create a collective or a group where we just like was able to support each other from birth workers? And the idea came from the birth workers I was meeting during our time of introversion and being being in home, right? And so I got to meet some amazing birth workers through Clubhouse. And I think a lot of us met and a lot of people met throughout those times. And so I met some amazing birth workers online, and I just thought how dope it would be to have something where all of us who are just continuing to meet, if we were interested in, returning to the motherland or being in the motherland or whatever that looked like. And so that was the concept of Motherland Birth Collective. And in 2021, we established ourselves officially as a group. And all I did was just bring together all of the amazing birth workers that I was meeting in a group chat on WhatsApp. And primarily, two of us who are founding members are still here today, which is myself and Nonkoleko in South Africa. And we are two of the, I guess, like 5 to 10, founding members who are still here. And so that was where it all started, and we based ourselves on our mission and our vision, as you can read here. And so really the understanding that we all share is that there must be that we respect and honor a return to tradition, but also believe that there must be this union between tradition and clinical skilled knowledge so that we can support Black birthing folks, African birthing folks from all walks of life in any need that they, any capacity that they needed, so that we can no longer believe or keep having to give our people over to systems that don't care for them. Whole idea of it is, or whatever the case may be, to a lack of knowledge or skill. And okay, due to a lack of knowledge or skill, and therefore this organization was actually co-created with the vision to assist with training, to assist with creating funding opportunities, get money up, gather funds together and work diligently towards assisting, sister friends and brother friends in growing their training opportunities and building their, their businesses, and really feeling supported so that they just weren't left high and dry to figure it all out. Or, as we know, as birth workers and community folks and people who get certifications, that these things are not cheap. And so we wanted to have a space where if somebody needed just a little support, then we could give it. And so that's kind of how this all started, was this just like when together, and I thought, oh, this sister's in midwifery school or going to midwifery school. I got $25. Let me send that. Let me put this in this group and see if anybody else can send $25 too, because at the end of the day, just having a network and sharing that information goes a long way. So our principles, I do everything in my art. So therefore, everything we create is in my art as well. And so our principles are, everything is in my art: justice, order, balance, truth, reciprocity, harmony, and compassion. And we believe in co-creation, is we over me. And so even if I myself am doing something here in Ghana, Non Coleco is doing something in South Africa, we still look at it as a collective venture. And therefore, if your project needed support in some way through the collective, then we are a part of that as well, giving our funds if we can, giving our support, sending, sharing the information on our platforms and all of that. So we over me is the biggest principle I believe that's most important, especially in birth work, where people are highly in competition with each other. So the thing that brought the person, rather, the opportunity, the entity, the being who brought Nonkaleko and myself from across the world together is through our woman mentorship through Sankofa Ways, from by the beloved Mama Kwesi, Dr. Dula, Andrea Mason Little, Little Mason. If you don't know her, please look her up. She's amazing. So both myself and Nonkaleko, as you see here, have been impacted by this amazing woman who has stood 10 toes down in saying that we save ourselves. And hearing this woman is tall, she's tall of stature, strong woman, but she has this nurturing, motherly quality to herself. And if you know her personally, you know that she doesn't have any birth daughters, but she has plenty of us, right? And she calls us, and so we call ourselves the daughters of the African diaspora. And if you can't tell, I love this woman absolutely. And she has impacted not only my journey as a birth worker to feel confident in moving forward in the work that I do with all the skills that I have, not feeling inadequate just because I don't have this next certification or this next thing, but being present and doing what you can with what you have until you can have more. And that's something that my relationship with her taught me. And I'm sure Non Coleco could say the exact same. So here is a picture of both of us. This is me over here. I met with Mama Quasi Chicago, where she welcomed me. I was in Chicago and I hit her up I'm in Chicago a bit longer. And for a week long, I got to just be with her, and she taught me so much. And she taught me how to be an African-centered woman mentor. That's what I would say. And so, if anybody has been in contact with me since this time, if you know me since least 21. I am because she is. I learned how to love and care for people in this work, with compassion and support and patience because of my relationship with her. And then so Non Coleco, I don't know if she is bad. Noni, are you here?
I'm here. I'm here.
You want to say something quickly before I continue?
You've said it all, sis. This is how I also started in 2019, and we have both grown so much into ourselves, into our African birthwork together. So this is where we are now, and I'm excited to see what we do next.
Yes, yes. So this is Noni and Non Coleco and Mama Kwesi last year, right? Or is it this year? They did a program together in South Africa. So this is her in South Africa, and they work together offering a hybrid retreat, bringing back the Sankofa ways and woman centered retreat that they co-created together. So yeah, I mean, if you can't tell, what we believe in is really being supported, grounded, and founded in the love and nurture that having wise elders gives. And that is how we have continued. That is how Noni and I have been able to stay grounded in this work, even when, people have life, it continues to life, right? And so lots of things have gone on between us, but we continue to strengthen each other through this work. And so that's why I consider us like the founding members of this, because we've been the two people who've like stayed doing it and stayed representing what we do here. All right. So this past year, Motherland Birth Collective and us individually have been busy. We have been super busy. We so at the end of 2023, I realized that, so I've been working in Ghana since 2021. I have been doing birth work in Ghana. I have facilitated holistic doula trainings, and I've also served as the supervisor for their practical experience here in Cape Coast. The organization that I work through is a Life of Peace Wellness Institute, and they have their offset is called the Doula House in Ghana. And so, yeah, we have the opportunity to serve and teach and serve and learn all at the same time. And this is not easy. So I know some of you have come on because of this, to know more about this work. And so, yes, I've been doing this work since 2021. And this year, I started to, I saw what my community needed. Let me put it that way. I witnessed things in my experience, and my students witnessed things in their experience that I wasn't comfortable with, but I also didn't know, I didn't know what to do and navigate and how to navigate that, because I'm not yet a midwife. And if you know anything about Ghana and probably all parts of the world, is that they value certain levels of this and that or whatever. Fortunately, I do have a strong background, so I don't just serve as a doula necessarily. I am a maternal and child health specialist, and I'm also in different programs for that even before I joined officially as a student midwife. And so I was able to leverage my background and experience, and also because I was already working in the community. So had I just been a stranger that never was in these places and just came here and said, I want to put my program in your hospitals, they would have been like, hold on, wait a minute. You need to give us like 5,000. You know what I'm saying? They would have tried to charge me or something because that's how Ghana works. But fortunately, I've already been building the relationship with our communities here, and people have already known about me. So folks put a good word in, and because I was branching out, so this is the first the main hospital that we work with, which is Cape Coast Metropolitan Hospital. And so as you see, it's a large group because it's a big hospital. And then I just started working with a smaller clinic, a polyclinic called Ewim, and they have been very welcoming and supportive. And I actually will be seeing them on Friday, maternal health workshops on Friday. This year's workout I did was a 3 month series on comfort measures this year. I thought I would go in, the conception was go in and do a series each month. But what I realized through doing the work is that you actually see the need, you respond to the need, right? And so in my workshops, I realized that, oh, I need to actually sit on this longer because this concept of comfort measures is so new in this clinical setting and to families that they need more support around this. So I actually spent 3 months every other month working at Metropolitan Hospital at Cape Coast Metropolitan, and I have now been at Ewing, and so this is my second time going to Ewing in this season. And my Ewing opportunity actually came a little later due to me having to go to the health department. So to go to the story of the health department because it was asked of me, because there were hospitals at Weem and other hospitals that I had reached out to. So previously, what I did was created, a formal document outlining the program that I wanted to offer to the local hospitals and clinics, and my background, my resume, and any other details that they might have needed. And so the hospital that was already familiar with me was okay with it. But the ones who had not heard about me yet, they were like, oh no, you need to go to the head is nurse to get this okayed. And so that was a process on its own. It took about 2 months of me going back and forth to the the regional health department, and then I ended up meeting with the head of the health department himself, and he was very interested, and everyone that I met was very interested because they felt like, yes, this is what our midwives need, and you could potentially go into the hospitals, and not hospitals, but into the colleges and travel throughout Ghana. And I was like, hold on, that's not even, I'm just trying to go to this hospital that I'm locally to, but that's okay, thank you. And so then one of his comrades was like, is this organization an NGO? And I was like, no, not officially yet. And he's like, oh. So then everything backed up and they were like, oh, we can't push this. We can't push this forward or mandate this as a part of the curriculum unless it was because of legal reasons, and we'd have to go like to all the way to Accra and go to the head people. He said, but we've seen your work. We got your information, and you're okay to work and continue to do what you're doing as a community-based organization. He was like, so we can't put my bad, y'all. Okay. So I was saying that the works in doing that, depending on your location you'd be the Oh, I'm sorry if I kick y'all out when I get kicked out. I hope that's not the case. But so yeah, so it really just depends on your location, and I would definitely welcome you to be a part of our organization since we're already on the ground, and more information about how to join us is coming. So let me move forward. So no, Non Coleco does a project. So what NBC has been doing in South Africa. Nonkuleko has a project that she's been doing, I think, for at least 2 years now, where she creates NICU gifts or gifts for NICU babies and their families. And so we support that. We support that through funding and pushing her project and putting the information out there online as well. And she does the NICU gifts and she also does bereavement support and she has had the opportunity, which she could speak of on her own once we get through the slides, that she got the opportunity to go to Sri Lanka and just in November and represent African indigenous African ways of bereavement support, which is her own work that she has been doing, that she's most passionate about and that she's been doing inspired by her own background and story. And so we have supported that project and initiative the best that we can. Again, like I said, we started off, and I'll say that in a minute, so I'm not going to go there as of yet. But now also, Non Kaleko and I had the opportunity of speaking on an international platform for the International Childbirth Initiative and their web series for doula training and certification around the world. We spoke about as along with a sister in East Africa in Kenya, Esther, which I guess she wasn't able to make it on today, but Esther, who's in Kenya, and this connection was made through me. Just I've been networking with the ICI for the last year, and she told me about this opportunity to speak on the work that we do here in Ghana and asked me if I knew anybody. And of course, I was going to put my sister on. So had I known anybody else, I would have put y'all on. But I know I was going to put my sister on and talk about the work that we've been doing in our respective countries. And we met a fellow birth sister along the way. And so that was a really great opportunity, I think, because we were the only voices speaking from Africa, from an African perspective. There was the international there was the European network of doulas and other, donor networks and Common Sense Birth in the US. So they all spoke from their perspectives and we got to speak from our perspectives. But it was in that experience that the executive director of ICI said, "You guys need to create your own network for Africa." And I was like, Non Kaleko and I were just like, we could do that with Motherland Birth Collective. Like, why reinvent the wheel when we can just get more structured and intentional about the collective we already have? And so that's the potential and the opportunity that we have moving forward that we wanted to focus on in 2025 and beyond. So over the last year, we have been our some of our accomplishments is that are that we did our first fundraising venture. We never fundraised before because we never were like super intentional about being an organization, but this year was our venture in doing that, where we hosted a fundraiser and we received about $400 through social media fundraising and members' donations. This was also the first year that we did ask for membership donations, and the membership donations is $25 for the year. And some people have the opportunity to give more. And so we were truly blessed. Like, it was kind of slow. I did the fundraiser through during Black Maternal Health Week. And so yeah, that was our ability to we got a little bit of money, which is great for our first time trying to fundraise. It really made us feel like we could keep doing this. So then we did maternal health workshops here. I did the maternal health workshops here in Ghana, and I served over 50 women. I really need to look at my numbers for real, but definitely over 50 women with different, varying from midwives, student midwives, and the mothers who attended or their families. During our trainings or workshops, rather, they're workshops rather, we provide refreshments and donations at the end of their series and educational materials for their clinics, all free of charge. And so that's just something that I've always felt passionate about. You make sure you feed people. And when you come into low resource countries, make sure you don't come empty handed. And educational materials allows them to have the train the trainer concept. So it's not so much about what I can continue to do because I'm only one person. I'm not so much focused on I'm going to keep coming to your clinic every month and doing this, but rather you here are some tools and continue to show your midwives and nurse students and all of that how to support moms, and here are some materials around that. And so we also were able to support the international travel of Nonkaleko to Sri Lanka in November. And that is a really big accomplishment because it goes back to one of our foundational intentions, which is to support funding for us to have more opportunities to do our work and to show people about our work. So what 2024 has taught us is that a little goes a long way. A little goes a long way, and we are now on the way to potentially receiving support from a larger birth justice organization. This potentially, I work for a larger birth justice organization who, through seeing the work that I do, my executive director is like, I'm really interested in having y'all as like a sister org, and we continue like support y'all and help you all in the work that you're doing internationally. And I'm like, yes, but first, we don't have a real organization. So that's where we are today. So we really need to establish a real organizational body in order for us to move forward and get the opportunities that are coming our way. This has transformed from a WhatsApp group to a true international gathering, as y'all see here, when everybody puts their sorry, y'all. The lights are coming back on. Okay. So for everyone who put their locations in the chat, then you see that this is an international gathering of Black and African and women of the diaspora. And this is a dream. This is the dream that was put inside of us through our tutelage, I guess I could say, from Dr. Mama Kwesi, right? And so now we actually have the opportunity. If everyone who is here today was truly interested in becoming a part of this organization and us pivoting it forward to be able to gain funding so that everyone in this group could go to see Camille, midwife Cami in Rwanda, or everyone go to see Mylin in Gambia, or all of y'all come here to Ghana, and we go to South Africa to see Noni, wherever we go to Bermuda to see Risa. So I could go on, right? That I'm so passionate about this. It excites me because this was just like the vision that we had a couple of years ago. And here we are, truly an international Motherland Birth Collective for real. And so we really would love to move forward in 2025 with some planning around creating our executive team, our directors, our programming, and getting our chairs together so that we are set and ready to receive and organize in a way that will allow us to truly be a voice in the work that we do, because we've all been doing the work in our little offset groups, and we need to be able to come together. Just as we saw those women in Europe, the European doula network, right? They were in Poland and UK and all these different things, right? So Sweden and all of that, and they were helping each other through their directories, through their funding, and supporting each other, and we could do the same. So that is pretty much my spew on that. So I'm gonna step down on it. So our intentions are as such: we're going to keep moving forward and creating a structure. We're going to keep funding projects and even further our projects with creating more toolkits. We have a sister here. Some of you might be familiar with her, but her name is Sarah Boating, and she is called the Global Midwife, and she does um, birth kits for the families in her area. She's in Koforidria, and so she does birth kits for the moms to be able to have some of their supplies that they need to have a safe birth and bring their babies back home. And so her birth kits cost her about $20, and she only sells them for about, and I'm saying this in dollars, but you see it in CDs. So they cost about $20 to make, and she sells them for about $10. And so, if we could continue to one assist someone doing things like that, in supporting their projects, in supporting your project, whatever you got going on, we have further projects in wanting to do postpartum kits because we see the need that's so greatly around the care that is really essential to postpartum support. Education, furthering education and training for us as a group, furthering education and training for our communities, and however that might look. When I teach a class, so I teach a holistic childbirth educators course and a holistic oh, there's Sarah right there. Okay, so she's coming. So I teach a holistic childbirth educators course and I'm moving into adding a community health educators course alongside it, due to, inspired by the work that I've been doing as a community health educator. And so when I host trainings for sure, but I hope everybody continues to do it, when we host trainings that we give people within the collective like a discount. So, and with what I do is, anyone from the collective, I've given them half off. When I first started doing the trainings, folks from the collective got it for free because I just wanted to respond to my community. And I don't really I don't birth work is my service. It's not necessarily what I want to make billions off of right now. But if people, with wealth want to disperse some of that wealth into our organizations, then we receive it, right? And so we don't any longer have to stress our community folks out. We don't have to stress out the mamas or stress ourselves out. And like, man, I really want to serve these people in my community, but they're not able to pay, right? And so we want to alleviate some of those disparities and continue to be able to serve and do our work and answer the call and the needs in our respective communities. So our all next intention is to potentially part with 501c3, which is what I spoke earlier, to help us receive grant funding. This funding can help us as a team continue to grow, continue on our education, continue to back to community, and provide more resources for us as birth workers in our spaces and us as birth workers as a whole, as an organization. And then a goal that I've always had from the beginning in this is to align with the Rotary International Grant in maternal child health, which is potentially up to 400 $1,000 if you get it right. And I see why they make so many. It's not easy to actually get this grant. I see how they make a lot of barriers for access for a grant like this. But if we go ahead and do it the white way, keep doing our work, then I believe that we can align with a grant such as this. And it also is the reason why I haven't officially registered us as a nonprofit. I didn't do so because the Rotary International Grant does not fund nonprofits. They fund community-based organizations, and that again is another barrier that they put there. But from the beginning, because I saw that, I was like, oh, we can't legally create a nonprofit as of yet because they fund organizations. So that has been something that has kind of created a barrier. As I mentioned, that the folks at the health department asked me, well, is this an NGO? And I'm like, no. So yeah, that's the reason why. It's not because of any other reason, except because it doesn't take a lot of money. It does take a lot of intention and knowledge. But it doesn't take a lot of money to create a nonprofit. But I really want to align us with this really great goal. Even if it takes us like 5 years, we're gonna get this Rotary grant money because it will be a great opportunity for everyone. And so at the end of the day, our proclamation is that we continue to be sisters, which it means sacred intuitive support through advocacy and healing, and brothers, which we do have a birth. Okay, so the official one. All right, so actually I am about done talking. Um, and again, I apologize if when I get kicked out, it kicks anybody else out because I think that might be the case. So I'm going to end this and then leave open the floor wide open and just say thank you all for coming. Thank you for your patience. Some of y'all know how it is, and some of y'all will just learn. We just go with the flow here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank and welcome Non Kaleko to speak if she would like to about our journey here. And this is our contact info, mbcdoulas@gmail.com, even though it's gonna have to change eventually. But anyway, and so it's me. I'm T Luna again, founding director, Non Coleco in South Africa's founding organizer. Our website will be coming in 2025. We'll also start a directory along the way. And so what I would love to do is to have people know that we have a membership open for $25 a month, or the equivalent or quote close equivalent. It can't, I don't, everybody's money is different, but we have our different breakdowns depending on your country. And so we will accommodate those needs as well. And then our fundraising goals that I'm putting out there for 2025 is 2,500. If we could do 400 in a year, then I believe we could do 2,500 with intention and structure and everybody doing their parts. So that is it. Thank y'all so much. I'm done speaking.
Thank you,
Thank you
Luna.
so much. Thank you so much, sis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you everyone who's new here and has never interacted with me at all. I appreciate y'all being here. Definitely. So the floor is open. I first want to invite Non Coleco to speak, and then everyone else has the freedom to speak as well. Ask any questions, comments, anything.
Yes, thank you and welcome everyone. My name is Nonkulego Shibula from South Africa. I am a doula and currently specializing in bereavement care work as bereaved mom. But well, yeah. So I draw my work from my personal experience that I had in 2010, I think. Yeah, it's been 14 years since, and I started in doing birth work in 2019. I certified as a doula in late 2020, and I started my nonprofit organization then that year, doing work in NICU and also um, bereavement care work in, well, it was a private thing until I was approached by public health workers that I started working with as a volunteer. And then I grew from there um, with more strength and support from people like Luna and people like Mama Kwezi and other midwives and doctors who are always looking to make a difference in the community. So I've been afforded a chance to be a board member of the International Stillbirth Alliance, and this is my first year in it. So I'm still learning the ropes, but with the year, um, I have learned how much it means to have a community of people who align with your work and your vision. And I am affirmed that we're not alone in this birthwork thing, wherever we are in our respective countries, we are not alone. And I'm excited to see what the Motherland Birth Collective um, does and what we all do as a collective. Um, I'm excited to hear everybody else share what they do in their work, their journeys. And if we could meet monthly or maybe, yeah, monthly or whenever we can and just share our journeys, like how far are we, what are we working on, and what are we struggling with, and then we can share and compare notes and have a Q&A session and maybe just debrief whatever it is that we're going on, because our birthwork can be um daunting sometimes, so it gets to be like that, and then you end up being discouraged because that's how it gets sometimes. But yeah, so um I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to learn from each and every one of you. And yes, I went to Sri Lanka and I got a recognition award for the first time. I received a recognition award as a parent voice, because advocacy work is what I've been doing also. So basically, walking into these professional spaces and speaking on behalf of parents, get to say what parents would like, and this is what a parent would say, and this is how you should address um, a parent or anything that has to do with parents and maternal mental health and bereavement work, especially parents who have lost their babies. Here in Africa, we do not have a parent voice that much, especially because we are a people of culture and, there's cultural belief. It's very strong. And yeah, so I went there, I did a presentation, a poster presentation, and I co-chaired some of the sessions. And I get to experience working with or seeing what other people are doing in their countries, especially in countries like India, countries like Singapore, where the stillbirth rates are very high. And then coming back here inspired because I was writing notes this whole time. Like for 5 days, I took notes. I was so inspired, and I'm looking forward to getting that work done immediately as soon as the year start next year. So yeah, that's where I am, and thank you so much. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we celebrate you. We definitely celebrate you. I'm so proud to see the work that you've done and the way that you have been able to empower others through by transforming your grief. And it's inspirational to me. And as is, I'm sure clearly is inspirational to other people because of all the spaces that you're able to be in. And what we do know is that grief and bereavement is not a conversation in Africa. Not heard anybody talk about it, but we're here and we experienced it. And I love and I'm so grateful that you're holding space for it and creating a conversation around it. And while she said a lot, she's still being humble. So I invite anyone else to be on the space to introduce yourself and maybe your location. Um, yes, Marika, you can speak. You know,
Hi,
you don't have to.
thank you for a beautiful presentation and greetings to all the members and participants on the call today. My name is Marika. I'm based in Bermuda, from Bermuda, and I had the opportunity to be a part of one of T. Luna's childbirth education courses last year, which was such an eye opener, but also an inspiration to my walk as a doula. I've been a full spectrum doula since 2020 here in Bermuda, and I've had the opportunity to support numerous families in these past 4 years. Um, I got into this from my own personal experience as well of not having much representation and not feeling as if women of certain statuses and race were being afforded the opportunity to birth support here in the island. So it was my mission to set out to provide more affordable support, more accessible support, and relatable. And I'm proud to say I am doing the work continuously. Um, I love that you both shared how you got into this, being strong advocates for certain, areas that you believe need advocacy in. And my question really is, how do we, as members of the community, put the Motherland birth community collective stamp on what we want to advocate for within our own regions? I know for me, I have really begun to see the need for more advocacy in more birth workers here on the island, as well as support from the community to fund it. And we just recently had an organization be established here in Bermuda called It Takes a Village by a lovely doula named Fiona Deal, who is not a woman of color, but she recognizes the need in our community. So she takes a step back, but she has established the charity to help support. And I just want to know how do we as members, how can we um move forward with the things we're passionate about and we want to advocate for, as well as taking the Motherland Birth Collective stamp with us as we build on these projects.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a really great question. So I most people, but if not, I'll share it again in the group chat. And then if you want to join the collective, then I'll put you in the chat. So we have our toolkit. And so in the toolkit, it has all of the material. So it has the logos, it has our missions and vision statement, it has all that stuff. So every time I've shared the toolkit, it has have been because I want you to have that available to you. And so, Rika, as you've been our member this year, and so you've always pretty much had that available to you, even if you didn't need to use it yet. But you've always
Thank
had that
you.
available to to use the as long as it aligns with our values, then you can use the
Mhm.
toolkit. You can request and let us know like what your project is so that you can request any amount of funding that we have available. And then you also can you can, of course, like for example, the fact that I'm going to add the community health educators component, right? So of course
Mhm.
you get access to that level of expanding the educational component so that you feel empowered to do, move out and do more trainings and all of that. And so all of that's available. If anybody is interested, we can always just like continue to co-create stuff, right? So we can create our own and establish our own training that is like, okay, everybody in this collective does this level of training. So you
Mhm.
could take this in the name of the collective and present it to your organization. So if you wanted to take on the maternal health workshops, and I just walk you through my process, how I do it, what I do with the families, and then I give you the materials you can add to the materials and everything, and then you can present it to your community within, and be like, yeah, I'm a part of this collective, and this is what we train internationally, and I think that's the only way. That question is perfect because that's the only way
Yes.
for us to actually continue to gain this international recognition as we are forming ourselves as a organization, an official organization. So thank you for that question. And if anyone is interested in that, that would definitely be a great goal for 2025.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. And yeah, the creative juices are flowing now as well. Now that you said we have access to a toolkit.
Hmm. Yeah, I will share. Okay, great. I'm seeing everybody's chat. So yeah, okay, yeah, I was saying that I'll also share anything else that this recording as well, but anything else, we'll also share some notes from our meeting today, and then together, is my screen? Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay, together we can come together and vote on our meetings. Like as Nonkaleko said, that it will be really beneficial for us to have like a standing meeting. It'll be really beneficial to us to have like do voting and all those things that you have to do to build organizations. To no problem, no problem. I hope I answered your question, and I will, yes, please just stay in touch with the chat, and I'll also share the recording if y'all
Thank
have to go.
you.
Yeah, thank you, peace.
Mm.
So yeah, so we can form that, together. I don't want to dictate anything. Like we can form our bodies of organization so that we know who's the treasurer, who's doing this, because as of right now I'm doing all the stuff, but I don't want to be the sole person responsible for it. I am in the works of creating a budget and all those things. So if we can get an idea of what having those organizational officers would be like for 2025 and beyond, at least, then we can really get moving on, what does it look like to have this standard training. I don't know if anyone is familiar with other birth worker organizations, but there's this really great one, if anybody's never heard of it, called Sister Song. And so Sister Song has their birth justice. They're the people who like pretty much coined birth justice. And so they have this reproductive justice. So they have this reproductive justice one-on-one training that all of the people who work for them know how to give, and all of the people, whenever they bring someone on, whenever they fund someone, all organizations get reproductive justice one-on-one training. So something that we could create within ourselves as community educators is, maternal health training, whatever that looks like. Well, community health training, whatever that looks like. Something that we can, yeah, Sister Song is everywhere. I've done their training twice because I not only work for an organization that's in partnership with them, but I also have done trainings that they funded and all of that. And so yeah, I think it's phenomenal that they do that, and that's something that we could do as an organization and standardize our educational models so that we can legitimize ourselves, which unfortunately that's what it means to be a part of these systems, right? Is that we're trying to formulate our own level of legitimacy so that people can see us. And if y'all, if y'all have been in doing work throughout Africa or in the birth work realm for any, at least the last decade or more, that all Black birth workers are in silos. It's like this one's in America. Now we know that some of us over here are doing the work in the continent, so it's all of these mini silos, and it's time for us to just come together. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, okay, could you come off and say it really quickly, midwife Cammy? can,
Hi.
can you speak really?
I can speak I can speak pretty quickly. Greetings again to everyone. Gratitude to the organizers of the call. And so just briefly, because I have to run, I am Camille. I am a midwife. I serve both in the United States and internationally. I have a private practice in the state of Connecticut. And when I do international work, I focus on international high risk care. And so for the last year, I've been living and working in Rwanda, um, where I am providing midwifery education and mentorship. A little bit about my background. I am a midwifery mentor and instructor, and also the founder of the Creators School of Midwifery. And so our midwifery school is an online school. Currently, it's in the very early stages of becoming an international midwifery program. And our aim is to be able to train both national and international students collectively in evidence-based midwifery care. And at some point, my dream and my goal and my desire is to be able to establish a clinical training center where students from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all countries can come together and learn on an international level. Again, with a specific focus on high risk care, because there's a huge need. And so I'm happy to be here. This is an amazing group, and I look forward to learning more about you guys and growing and being a part of this amazing and much needed work. Okay,
Thank
Luna, did you guys?
you.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome.
It's all good. Thank you so much. I know you have to run. Thank you so much for being here. Anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna start call
Okay,
a
I
quick
can go.
moment to speak.
Oh, okay, can I go, Luna? Let's see
Mia,
if I
go
can
ahead, go
call.
ahead.
Okay, greetings.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll follow the other Camille. Camille, thank you so much for sharing. I don't know if she's still on. Greetings from Abuja. I'm from the Washington, D.C. area. I've been living in Nigeria since 2019. I'm a birth doula and childbirth educator, and I'm working on building a birth center here in Abuja that will be very much of a kind of home birth style, midwife led and TBA partnered service, birthing cottage service, meeting the need of middle-class moms who are basically my neighbors, who I just found just from conversations in the streets that they're going to hospital, can't afford to go to hospital and are paying a decent amount of money to experience very terrible care. And so we're working on that, and we're doing childbirth education classes that are just around positive birth, because there's just not a lot of positive and empowering stories and informative stories being passed down from the generations about how to navigate the medical system when people are going in hospital. And yeah, the hope is that we'll be able to start, we'll need to start training midwives who are currently more of that medwives, hospital-based midwives who actually want to know how to support women out of hospital in the home birth setting. So we'll be recruiting teachers and trainers to teach our midwives and our TBAs more of a skill share, because of course the TBAs are many of them are highly informed about how to operate in very low resource settings, but we want to do some skill sharing in the next year. So just sharing a bit of what's happening here. There are a lot of women interested in doula training, some also in certification, but others, they're just like, I feel like I'm already a birth worker. I just want some guidance and knowing how I can be of service to other women. And so, by default, we'll end up being kind of a matchmaking doula agency, and then we're doing some training. So training is the big word right now. So very much interested in and grateful, Luna, and to the full team here for you hosting this time and this space, and very, very interested also in how to be a part of the organizing body, so that it's not just on one or two people, but that we can have this shared responsibility of supporting each other. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to meet you. We are interested. I actually was asked by a midwife in Ethiopia. He asked me if I had like a doula training or something, because after doing the presentation for the ICI, and he and I are in the same program already. And so I was like, unfortunately, I don't, but I really would love to do something around that within the collective, from an African-centered standpoint, not like the way, because if you've done birth here in the motherland, you know that it is a different experience and a different fight than what we're fighting for in the US, even with Black bodies, right? So really was thinking
Agreed.
about how we could do that, how we could create our own birth companion training, because the doula thing, the word in itself, we already know it's a problem, but it really is throwing people off in community.
Right.
So we need to figure out how we can expand and give people access based off of what we know by being here on the ground. I hope you can hear me. But yes, thank you. Thank you.
Totally.
So I would more info. I will add you to the the WhatsApp. So please text me or message me on WhatsApp privately, and
Okay,
I'll send
well,
you. Yeah, and then we can talk further once we're doing all of our like organizing bodies, voting, all that stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
beautiful. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hi, I'll come off. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, this is Kiva. And I am currently in the state of Georgia. I am a holistic birth keeper. Um, always ever learning. So I will be taking my certified breastfeeding specialist course coming up in January. I trying to be a Reiki master. I've completed my second level. I have also taken herbalism courses, so that's something that I'm interested in as well. And I am on the path now to beginning very early stages of midwifery. I am apprenticing to the longest practicing midwife in the state of Georgia, Mama Saran. So I'm super excited about that experience, and I'm super excited about the Motherland Birth Collective. Thank you to Noni. She introduced me to T Luna, and it's been a wonderful experience thus far. And I'm looking forward to plugging myself in wherever I am needed in the upcoming year, and meeting everyone in the upcoming years as well.
Thank you, sis. And also, again, congratulations about sitting at the feet of such an amazing elder. I'm not jealous. I am proud of you. And I'm going to live vicariously through you until one day we can all do that. And I actually would love for her to come speak to us if we do our own little conference, which I'm really thinking about doing our own virtual conference that we can share. I'm not saying recreate the wheel. I know everybody here has some amazing workshops that they've already done, which I already know some of you do. And I'm like, I want to hear their workshop. I want to share the workshop I did for the Black Midwives Day last year with some folks who couldn't come. So I'm really thinking about us doing a workshop, virtual workshop next year, so that we can just share the information that we're already doing and sharing. Anybody else?
Yes, real quick, I just wanted to introduce myself. Thanks for allowing me on the platform. My name's Lorraine Lamb. I'm currently working out of New York. I'm originally Jamaican, but I'm living in New York now. I'm a certified nurse midwife who has plans or putting things in place to relocate to either Ghana and Sierra Leone in the next couple of years, hopefully not more than 2 years. But and I also have a small home birth practice here in New York. Towards the effort of trying to relocate, I have my midwifery license in Sierra Leone, and I'm working on obtaining that in Ghana. But as I go back and forth to try and understand the culture of midwifery in both of those areas and just on the continent in general, my focus, I'm hoping to leverage my skills with the focus of doing obstetric emergency training programs, which is something that I'm actually actively working on, trying to put a training program together for April in Sierra Leone, but also to try and see and understand what the needs are on the ground as it relates to obstetric emergency training in Ghana as well. And this is all against the backdrop of knowing how our maternal mortality rates are significantly, ridiculously high. And it's no coincidence that it's high here in the US amongst our people and also our brothers and sisters on the continent with, against the backdrop of colonialism and enslavement being, one of the common factors there. And again, just based on the concept that this is not who we are as women. We were not originally women who can't birth and bring our babies to term and then have bouncing babies at the end of it. So something has disrupted that process. So my efforts is going towards assessing the needs, training if that's what's that's what's needed, but also getting or getting back to the root of the cause and getting our people, getting our women, getting our lay midwives, our doulas, getting our moms especially back into that frame of mind of doing something that was innate to us, doing something that it's supposed to come naturally to us, but something disrupted that process. And also just be trying to create a space, trying to get the mindset to change from looking to others to solve our problems. We have everything that we need to solve our own issues, to make things better. Just hearing you guys speak from this platform. We have the resources that we need, but it's just a matter of trying to encourage that mindset to look within to try and solve whatever challenges that we're facing. So yeah, so towards that goal, my hope is to create that training program for traditional birth midwives, nurses, midwifery students, and active midwives within the communities, have series of ongoing training programs for them, similar to what we have here in the States, where ever so often we have to go to continuing education programs to upgrade and to learn more about, saving lives.
Thank you, Lorraine. For one, I would like to say, I know you had asked me in the other group about how to like navigate those things. I mean, honestly, if you're willing and you would be interested in joining the collective as well, then since I've already kind of been working, doing the work that I do, you've heard what I said.
Mhm.
So I would love to just add that component, and it strengthens the work that we're doing, because what I know about my experience here is that uh, the beauty of working in, at least in Ghana, but um, I think that this is something that maybe people are seeing in their respective countries as well, that or hospitals are open, right? They're open, but the thing is that they're used to seeing like they're used to being all white, if not predominantly white. And midwife Cami, she spoke about that before, that she was the only Black midwife coming in with these groups like mission organizations doing mission
Right.
midwifery, and was the only Black midwife with them, and so
Mhm.
that's why the vision of creating a Black led, and the folks are, members, organizations to come in and facilitate these trainings. I think
Exactly.
that it's powerful work. So I would love to invite you to be with us in doing that work. I don't think we need to keep, like I said before, we don't need to keep working in silos. We all have amazing ideas, and we can just bring that in one space and like
Right.
build together and help each other.
Yeah, and I completely agree. It's and I guess this is what I'm applauding your efforts for, in creating that network where different people can come together and share their skills to make one big project that will again spread into the separate areas that we live into, because we're all on some level doing the same thing. Or voices, our hands can be more powerful if we're working together in doing that same thing. And it's against that backdrop of seeing these white faces in the space that I'm trying to shift that culture, shift that expectation, shift that mindset. Let's, show our people that they don't have to be looking to these pale faces to solve our problems. We also have an interest. We also have the skills. We also have the resources that they need to solve our own problems. And the problems that exist aren't even ours. We didn't even create them. So how are we going to look to the people that created the problems to solve them? So again, it goes back to just that shift in mindset that I'm hoping to be a part of. But I would definitely welcome being a part of the group, as you said.
Yeah. Shift is what's necessary. The shift is the work. It is people that you can treat mothers with compassion, but the way that mothers are treated is quite just got motivated. That's workshops, because it's just terrible. So yeah, I think that adding your level of expertise to this project and programming and all the different things that we could do. Someone put in the chat, the training center, like centered work, says we and we're legitimizing ourselves as a organization that we have out the world, who are saying this is what we're seeing and this is what we see. This is what we're doing, the response to the needs of our community. And that's the difference of the mind to the needs of our community. Not we're trying to tell y'all what to do and we're telling you that you're doing it all wrong. Do it like us. We're not doing that. And that's never been my intention. And that's absolutely not what I do when I go into trainings, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And this is why whenever I go, I try to gain experiences in whichever setting as possible. So like next summer, I'm supposed to be on the ground doing a clinical attachment at one of the hospitals there in Ghana as a part of completing the credentialing process. Because I think it's so key to go in with the humility of seeking what they need as opposed to telling them what they need, which is what the others have been doing for so long. So our approach, I believe, is going to be different because of the place that we're coming from and trying to get things done.
Yeah, it's the holistic measure that's necessary for us to talk about being Pan-African. This is an addition to talking about Pan-Africanism, right? To talking about returning home and all of that. I don't want to get on that soapbox about it, but I do think that this is the part that's been missing. There's all these economic benefits, there's all these other benefits, social benefits, and all these things. But this part is the part that's kind of been missing for a long time, and this is why we here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody else?
Peace and blessings, everyone. My name is Letitia. I'm currently in Ghana. I'm originally from the US by way of North Carolina. I have been a holistic doula helper since 2018. And I'm honestly just getting my feet wet. I'm still learning. Actually, my first client was my daughter-in-law. So I assisted her. She actually lived in the home with me, and I assist and help bring my first grandchild into this world. So I was excited about that. Luna actually is my previous neighbor that I missed very, very much. I was in Cape Coast before coming to Tema, and Luna gave me, books to read, just enlightening me on things about in the doula space. I honestly feel I'm still new to this because of my training. I lacked a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge in my training. So I am still in a learning phase, and I'm so grateful to be amongst my people, and we're all coming together to learn and assist one another in such a rewarding space. And I will add that I will soon in January, I will soon travel from Ghana to Liberia. I will actually have my first paying client. So I'm very excited about that. So I will have affiliation with Liberia. So I would love any of you ladies to drop your knowledge, anything that would be helpful for me while I'm there. I'll be there for 3 months, actually. And the young lady is someone that I did meet in the US, but she's currently actually she and her first child are en route as we speak. They were in Morocco last. I conversated with them to Liberia. So I will be headed there in January. So I'm excited. So if you ladies could assist me just with any knowledge or experience, any tips, I would be grateful. I would definitely, be appreciative of that. And thank you, Luna, for holding space for us.
No problem, Miss Tish. Yeah. And you're offering birth support, or you're offering postpartum support, or all together, like holistic support?
It's going to be holistic, being that she is, someone like a close friend. I'm going to assist her holistically throughout she's due February the 3rd. So
Okay.
I will leave January the 20th. And then she's, I made that clear with her that I'm not a postpartum, but I know I know the know-how, you know.
Yeah,
So
doesn't
I'm just
matter.
gonna
That piece of paper don't mean nothing. You know how to care for
right,
women. You've been there for your
yeah.
child's mother. You know your child, your grandchild's mother. You've been a sister to friends and all that. Then you know what
Hmm.
I'm.
Yeah,
And
and I'm a CNA and been doing that for probably 18, almost 20 years. So I do have a lot of knowledge.
yeah.
But sometimes I think I can get a little timid because I haven't actually been in a space as I'm, learning here in Ghana. And even with me just going to assist you at the hospital setting, that was you don't know how rewarding that was for me.
Mm,
I really took that into heart, because I need this. This is what I need. It's one of my passions. Yes, I'm a healthcare provider, but I know that our women are suffering and struggling in the birth, in the birth aspect. We are, and we don't have to be. We don't have to, but it's about us coming together as a race culture. We have a problem sometimes doing that. So I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to even be in a space that you are ahead of. It's awesome.
thank you. And
Mhm.
and I'm grateful that you came and was able to serve with us and got to add your love to it, and oh, the meeting's canceled. Okay. You got to add your love to it, and I'm really grateful. And thank you for the new people who kind of don't know me at all. There was another birth worker group that I recently got added to, and so people are now kind of like getting to know me and the work that I do. But I knew a lot of people in the group. And I think that I've been kind of like a lone wolf doing my work because I didn't have time to network, to be honest. And so I'm grateful that y'all have, come here. But I know Miss Tish is in the group. So if you ever had any questions about the workshops that I host, she was one of our volunteers early in the year and got some hands-on experience. And that's what we do. That's what we just go in, do it. We don't be doing all this like, because one thing that I've learned, and who gave me the confidence was non coleco. Like that was a big part of the confidence to just do it because we can't do a lot of talking, especially when there's a language barrier and all those many different things that can be barriers that is not our fault, right? It's colonization and slavery and all the things that impacted us. But that doesn't mean that we still don't have work to do. So just because language is a barrier, and I always say love speaks louder than words. When you come and you care for people and you show up and be there, and my two newest initiates, Tia and Aurora, can speak to that. The impact that just like that they just experienced and that they had on the birthing mothers that they assisted just 2 weeks ago, that they're still talking to the moms and stuff. And I love that because you realize like not only is this transforming you and really enlightening you to the work that you're called to do, but it also is transforming that person and realizing, and they realize even through their experience like, man, I never had love like this from a stranger. Even if they 5 babies in, if they've birthed their babies in the hospital, they definitely haven't had that type of love and care that we want to give. And so what we do, everything that you have is necessary. Everything that you have, everything that you are is valuable. So I don't want us to get caught up in these papers and all that stuff. And that's why I'm like, if we legitimize ourselves as a group, then we don't have to keep worrying about these other people's documentations and their requirements and everything to stay up to date on this next thing and all this stuff, like, and I loved the conversation around continued education because it Sorry, yeah. Okay. I was on my high horse. That's probably why I cut off. So anyway, I'm down. And anybody else want to speak? I know everybody has things to do. So I just wanted to allow anyone who had something to say. Go ahead, Tyra.
Peace, family. Peace, family. My name is Tyrell. My name is Tyrell Thomas, originally out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Based here now in the DMV area. I'm here in Maryland, the Maryland, DC area. I started as a holistic doula with Luna as my teacher, also my classmate in Ghana in 2021. We went through that training. Then I stayed in Ghana for 15 months. I did 11 months of voluntary service at that same local hospital, Roman Hospital there in Central Region, a little small town called Mankesem. I'm thankful to be here. And thank you, Luna, for, continuously bringing us together. This is a powerful space that is well needed, not only like I said, internationally, globally, far as a space where we can come together and, like you said, have an organized body to receive education from an African-centered standpoint, and also have that space and collective also to be able to do the work, nationally here in the U.S., but also globally to our family there on the continent that, like you said, it's different experiences from the United States to being in Africa, serving the mothers and the families in low resource areas and things of that nature, as far as the teachings that was passed down. So being able to add that holistic space, like you said, you're cross trained as a doula, you're going through midwifery now, having that vision and seeing all of those spaces and being able to add to more care from an educated standpoint, implementing that over there, as far as like you said, not coming to this space saying, "Hey, you should do this," but more so offering a suggestion like, "Hey, this is what I've seen. This is from the space of love that I'm giving, as far as education. This can help." A more care-centered way of caring for the mothers and getting that education and resources over. Um, I recently started my own LLC in Dongo International, looking to continue the workspace here in DC and Maryland. And then going back, I look forward to next year, December of 2025. I look coming back to the continent to serve and do the work, and from a more of a family center standpoint of getting the fathers involved as well. Just the whole family unit into the space, because that's very important as far as the mothers and when they're nurturing the child and bringing them to bringing them to the world, preparing that. They have partners and things of that nature. I see it's more so that, the mother still maybe, in a high stress environment, working very hard and things of that nature. Just being in a space to educate the fathers on where they can participate and where they can help, and being a part of the space of, helping the mother while she's in this special time of her life, while they're in their special time of their lives, that involvement and what it can really mean for the family unit as a loving, caring family. So yeah, I just wanted to add. I actually I thought it was at 4 p.m. I just had woke up, so I was hydrating myself before I had a chance to speak, so I'll be clear. And I heard some of you all speak. I'm happy to be a part of this international space, and look forward to continuing education and also serving. Getting into the space. I'm going to continue my education now with organization here called Mama Glow. Going through a 6-week training with that. Just cross training myself and continuing to educate myself as as a doula and also as an advocate for the children and the mother. So, Luna, again, thank you for bringing us all together. This is a very powerful space. Just hearing everyone where they're at, where they're located, and the work that it's doing has charged me up this morning. I didn't have breakfast yet, but that was enough for me to just be fired up to go about, you know, the rest of my day, the rest of my year. So, you know, thank you for that. I just wanted to add in and introduce myself and who I am, and I look forward to adding to this space of however I can. I'm going to listen to the recording, the playback, to see, hear more of the plans for next year, 2025. Yeah, yeah, I'm really looking forward to helping however I can. This is a dedicated space of mine, and I look forward to continue for, you know, continue helping.
Thank you, brother. I did shout you out earlier, so you're all good. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he spoke about it a little bit from his experience, but I'm switching over. I mean, Tyrell, whoosh, like y'all, I don't have nothing to say because being in been so profound for me with my work here. Tyrell and I did our practicals here together, and we supported each other. And I'm telling you, like, you know, I don't know the trajectory that he wants to go or what is yet in store, but he can really speak to such an experience. I want to say it, you know, he can inform you truly about attending births and being and observing and holding space and advocating in a way that masculine energy that is often missing in spaces. He was able to witness over 20 births here in Ghana. I think he might have mentioned it. I'm not sure if he did. He was such a well-needed energy, because if you can, you know, imagine that most women don't have safe um experiences with male folks, you know, as male men and male, you know, male doctors and all that stuff, right, in birth here. And he spent, you know, almost a full year doing that work, and it fueled him and empowered him, volunteering and sacrificing. I don't think you add that point, but I see the work that Tyrell did as a beautiful sacrifice to the work. And it has allowed him to go back to the States and um, do fuel everything else that he's doing. So I'm with him in this space. Anybody's got some 4 p.m. GMT. That's why I kept saying GMT, because I was like, I can't tell you what's happening in your time zone right now. It's too many time zones, but but it's all good. And we will have the recording sent out as we are establishing ourselves, and we have a lot of great things in store. We've had a lot of amazing people. Thank you all for taking some time out in your day, commenting, sending love, talking about what you're doing, and co-creating the potential that we have to move forward. And so with that being said, we will start putting some, I'll make sure, please message me privately if you are not in the collective already. And once I get everyone together, then I, I will resend the the document, our toolkit, and then we'll start talking about voting and doing all the other stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, like I said, I'm so excited. Thank you for telling. Yeah, thank you for telling.
To really get our year started. You know, who wants to be in what type of. Oh, that was it. That's all you said.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. Yeah. I cut out because I heard you were still talking. No, I would say thank you for that. Thank you for that full elaboration. Yeah, of the story. Yep. Being able to support 20 plus mothers. Yeah, like I said, they're on the continent, and one of the one my I don't know remember her name, but my tenth birth experience. She was like my family. She was one of eight. She was it was seven. I think it was six girls, two boys, but she was the seventh born, and her sugar was low. The midwives, they weren't really tending to her. They was acting like she was exaggerating. When the director came and see me with her, I laid her out a mat on the floor. She laid down. I was there, comforting with her, holding her hand. Her family was there. And when the director seen me with her, he asked the midwife, "Hey, what's going on?" Then they finally checked her sugar, and her sugar was low. She wasn't exaggerating. They got her on the glucose, and then after that, she was calm. Everything, her heart rate and everything went back to normal, and then she was able to have her baby girl, and her family was just her older sister, her niece, and her mom. They were just so happy. They were just in the hallway, just jumping up and down, saying, "Oh, God bless you, thank you." They couldn't really speak good English, but that part they were able to say. That part they were able to say.
Nyamesio. Nyamesio.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So they were able to say, "God bless you." So yeah, thank you for that. And like I said, I look forward to serving, especially on the continent. That's where my heart is in. I want to really relocate next year and come back full time to be able to give the work. So yeah, thank you for putting the space together. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm just so happy to be a part of it and happy to serve.
Amen, amen, Ashe. All right, y'all. I don't want to hold y'all any longer. We could be here all night. If I didn't mind, I'd be like, let's keep talking. But I want to give y'all some space. And again, I want to make sure I add everyone to the collective chat one more probably I guess by the end of the week. And then I will resend the toolkit for the information, and then we will move forward with our plans. So thank you. Please feel free to message me privately about anything you want to talk about. Please feel free to message in the chat. I would say, Miss Tish, message your questions in the chat because it's a really great space for people to offer their support. So feel free to put your information there, the questions that you had pertaining to going to what is it, Sierra Leone? What did you say? Liberia to serve the mom there. All right. Everybody hear me on that? Okay. All right. Well,
I
peace
did.
and love.
I'm sorry. I was sending
Oh,
a
okay.
group message, greeting everyone, telling them to have a great morning, great day, great evening, wherever you are in the world. And I sure will send you all some questions. I have many. I'm not going to bombard you all, but I do have some questions. So thank you.
Yep, that's what we're here for. All right, y'all. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Peace
So
and love.
grateful.
Okay.
Peace and love,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.